The Orlando Pride look built to win it all. They've only conceded 12 goals through 18 games, they're committed to only scoring highlight reel goals, and they've pulled off definitive wins against contenders like the Kansas City Current, Washington Spirit, and Gotham FC. I'm Bridie O'Toole, welcome back to Busy Watching Women's Soccer, home of the best, but maybe only, women's soccer film study on the internet. Today, we're going to look at film on the Orlando Pride's best players, and we're going to break down some of the tactics that make the team so special. The team sheet that Orlando hands in most weeks puts them in a 4-4-2 formation, but we really only see them use that structure during defensive play. Before we get into that, I want to introduce some of the key players on this team, and on the offensive side of things, the star of the show is undoubtedly Ballon d'Or nominee Barbra Banda. Banda is really friggin' good in front of a net. She reacts quickly and is able to finish in whatever fashion needed, and she has a league-high 5-headed goals because her positioning, timing, and technique are all world-class. You'd be forgiven for thinking a player that finishes on every ball served into the box might not contribute as much elsewhere on the pitch, but Banda is no mere player. She's a fantastic runner, consuming whole sections of the pitch quickly, but she's also a great passer who considers the context of build-up play before settling on pass location and timing. The decision to go as far wide as possible here gives Banda time to get in position for a cross and essentially finish the play she started. Yes, she's explosive, but she's also extremely smart. Here, she's going to have an excellent read of the play, sniff this ball out, but my favorite thing is the magnificent touch she takes before passing, cuts off the defender, and changes the ball spin, allowing the player to tap that in really easily. Banda has an incredible ability to read and control ball rotation on the ground. I believe in golf, this is called driving for show and putting for dough. As if that wasn't enough, on the odd chance an opposition goalkeeper does stop her shot, a teammate will probably clean it up. And the Orlando Pride are now scoring multiple identical goals off Barbra Banda's rebounds. She's just a magnificent, well-rounded player that truly can do it all. Any team would be lucky to have her, and I'm sure the Orlando Pride are so glad to have Barbra Banda on their side. The Orlando Pride have been winning because of their ability to dominate on offense and on defense. Defensively, there's another clear standout player, and that's Emily Sams. She's been asked to play at outside back, she's been asked to play at center back, but usually we'll find her right here. Newly minted gold medalist, Sams was surprised first-round draft pick in 2023. She positions herself well, keeping good spacing when on the line, and timing her steps and drops nicely. She really likes to initiate tackles and is fairly proactive in her defending. I sometimes felt like I could almost see her plotting out and setting up tackles ahead of time, almost stalking the ball like prey. She's a pretty nifty dribbler too, and the Pride have been able to make great use of that. Sams doesn't really want to block shots, she wants the ball back, and she has the physicality to make that happen. Sams has had some time at outside back, and I'm not sure if that's because of need or because of ability. She's a good passer, and she has great ideas when she gets involved in play. I love the underlap there. The ball in is great, and she does that same kind of ball stalking on offense, staying involved in the play, and she's used that to snag herself a goal this year. Really fantastic player, and there's a reason she was chosen as an alternate for the U.S. Women's National Team at the Olympics. And here's where things get a little tricky. On most teams, it's fairly easy to pick out a third game changer, but with the Orlando Pride, it is actually impossible because there's too many candidates. So let's start with some of the Brazilians. For your consideration, I'd present Adriana, Angelina, and Marta. 27-year-old Adriana is a truly talented ball striker, scoring a brace against Gotham in less than 20 minutes. She can absolutely create goals for herself, and she can absolutely finish from long range. She had this lovely assist against Bahrain, somehow beating 2 defenders a total of 3 times, then tossing in a perfectly arced ball to Banda at the far post because, don't forget, she's Brazilian, which is why she can do things like this. How does 38 look on Marta? Pretty good to me. She's never out of the conversation because she's still producing. She's the GOAT for a reason, and so many parts of her game, the joy, the attitude, still look exactly the same as they did 20 years ago. The last Brazilian I consider a standout player is Angelina, who demonstrates such impressive play tracking to put this one in the net. She's a fantastic passer too, and creates the entire opportunity on this goal by playing in such a floaty ball that Berger just cannot ignore. I'm honestly surprised she hasn't created more assists because she plays really intelligent mid to long range balls. This one is so good, so well placed that it has to be blocked, and that somehow makes this even worse. I just think there's more to come here. While there's clearly a ton of Brazilian flair and offensive firepower in this team, let's not forget that the Pride are where they are because of their historically defensive season. And a huge part of that is their keeper, Anna Moorhouse, who is having an absolutely standout season, has been called up to her national team for a first time. Moorhouse isn't a player with tons of flashy highlight reel saves. She has a talent for making what should be big-time saves look effortless because she's got great reach and ball handling. This save was tricky because the ball has to be tracked from the light to the dark and back again, but she gets out there, makes a great save, and then a minute later she faces almost an identical play, but this one she has to challenge for in tight and does a great job saving this 2 different ways. Things that should be difficult, she somehow makes look easy, and I'd argue even awkward at times. I think it's because she seems like she's not doing a lot because she's so well positioned. She uses that to be really preventative, stopping a lot of chances before they even develop, and extinguishing opposition hopes and dreams. Another group of players I think that's worthy of some attention is the homegrown talent on this team. Orlando Pride have done a fantastic job identifying prospects and then developing and building those players up into starters. Yes, we talked about Emily Sams, but I also want to talk about Kerry Abello and Summer Yates. Abello is the only field player to start all 18 games for the Pride this season. She was a team's second-round draft pick in 2021. She's got good pace and intensity to her game, which comes in handy on defense. It's how she makes the play here. Where I think she really shines is running the left wing. She is just such a great dribbler, and the pace is evident. She's got other ways to get it done too, though. She is a really fantastic passer, and when she doesn't have the ball at her feet, she just has such a good understanding of how to support play. She loves to kind of hang out in blind spots, just stay away from things and then sneak up at the last minute. She's got a little bit of skill in tight too. Almost had that one there. Again, this is another clip where she just hangs out in that dead space, allows herself to be forgotten about, and makes an explosive run there. We're going to come back to this clip later because it's too good. Service into the box is another thing she really has down. She's just able to absolutely pick out Barbra Banda at the far post here. What a play. Yates is the team's 4th-round draft pick last year, and wow, what a find. I love how she wins the ball there and then just lets Barbra Banda take it away, helps them win the penalty. A surprise to see her given the opportunity to take the kick, but I totally understood it after watching. That is just such a clean, such a pure strike of the ball. If you're just looking at stats, you might think, oh, she's playing off Barbra Banda, that's why the stats look so good, but she can really, truly create for herself. She is just smart, she is sneaky, she looks so good when she can get one-on-one with the keeper. So lethal, able to finish with such style. 4th-round draft pick. Really, really impressive stuff here from the Orlando Pride and Summer Yates. There's honestly so many talented players on this team. Strum, Doyle, Dyke, Watt, Hansen, all having fantastic seasons. So what is going on tactically that is allowing all these players to really do their best work? Defensively, the Pride will mostly be in this 4-4-2 formation in order to stay compact. They're actually not that big on the high press. We won't see them pressing much in this area of the opponent's half, and that's because their strategy is kind of predicated on not really playing defense. Now, in order to do that, they are still initiating a lot of their tackles quite high up, so I'm going to show you what I mean. This is a team that would much rather step up than drop back. It's a transitional play here, but we're going to see Sam step up very high, very quickly, very confidently, almost as if she was in her own defensive third. In this clip, we're going to see Abello, the left back, step up to challenge, and this isn't a high press, but it's about how far off the line she's willing to come to make this defensive action. Another thing this team has been doing so well on defense is rotating players as needed to cover for others. In this clip, as soon as Angelina, the midfielder, recognizes Alyssa Thompson might be 3, she becomes the left back. Now by having an extra person in that line, this center back can step up, wins the ball back. On this play, we're going to see Emily Sams get pulled out of position. Defense has good awareness that she's further away than they would like her to be. They start making adjustments here, calling for help. We have a midfielder come in, and as soon as she recognizes that Sams is beat, goes down, initiates a huge block there. One other defensive tactic that I think is making the Pride look so good is their preference to pass the ball instead of clearing it. It's a great example here where even if you turn the ball over, you still have players in position to challenge for it versus if you opted to clear it to a potentially safe area. I think the team is, I'm sure, benefiting from having a lot of really fantastic passers that are comfortable in tight spaces, but they're able to just execute really inventive, stylish plays that allow this team to break out quickly, and it forms the foundation of their offense. When the Orlando Pride have possession of the ball, they're going to switch from this 4-4-2 into more of a 3-4-3. How they will typically do that, they're going to pull this here, pull this, and the right back will stay down. That's if the ball is in this half of the pitch. If the ball is in this half of the pitch, they modify a little bit differently. Now in this instance, we're going to send the left back up, move our left wing or our left midfield. Let me pull our center backs down a little bit. I think generally the Pride are trying to maintain some kind of like diamond shape in this midfield, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because their entire offensive strategy is predicated on getting the ball up the field as quickly as possible. The most common way I would see this team restart play from a goalkeeper would be just passing around once or twice, nice easy passes in the defensive area, and then they look for a long ball upfield trying to create something. So in this case, Sam's is charged with taking the long ball, looking for Banda, and from very little we have a situation that looks quite threatening. This is a great strategy because even when it doesn't work out, it does work out. Barbra Banda is just too much to handle over the course of 90 minutes, and she draws so many cards. Now we can see everything starting to come together. The Pride are aggressive about tackling, they're great about passing to each other instead of clearing, and as soon as they can, looking for the long ball upfield to Banda, who again is too much to handle, draws a yellow card. It's an easy, repeatable formula that has been incredibly successful for them. One question I have for myself right now is if the Orlando Pride are potentially a little bit overcommitted to this approach. In this example, we see everything start fast, just as they like, but then, play breaks down after the cross, and now they're going to have to try and play a little bit of possession football in the opposition half. So we see them making some passes, we see them taking some space, but with the kind of low block San Diego has in place, they look a little bit static and unsure. This team just does not look like themselves. So something I noticed them do a few times is push the ball back all the way to Moorhouse as far as possible, draw your opponent as low as you can possibly get them, and then just restart the play doing the thing you wanted to do in the first place. I'm wondering if this might be a potential problem for them if they can't offer more flexibility in how they attack. Even if a team could figure out a way to exploit that, I'm not worried because I think the Pride have the secret sauce. And to me, it's the volley. They're just scoring these wonderful, beautiful goals again and again with different players in different situations on the ends of different types of balls. It's stunning to watch. They've scored 7 of their 35 goals on the volley, and when you add in Barbra Banda's 5-headed goals, that means this team has scored 34% of their goals on one-touch plays in the air. It is insane. The level of confidence with this club is high. The thing that really does it for me is this set piece to Marta. You might think Angelina saw Marta unmarked and took the opportunity to send her in a pretty little ball. That is not what happened at all. This entire play was drawn up to get Marta unmarked to volley the ball into the back of the net. And that is just the kind of outlandish set piece you can draw up when you are confident every single player on your team is a baller. Big thank you to my paid Patreons for the ideas and suggestions to help bring this to life, but also thank you to you for being here, and hopefully I'll see you for next one.